Kyle Shanahan faces a very interesting decision. Play Mac Jones or play a Brock Purdy that's probably less than 100%. What should he do? And how will it work out? We'll get to it all on today's Gold Standard Podcast. What is good, everybody? Welcome to another Gold Standard Podcast on the Pro Football Insiders. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. She is Michelle Majuk. What's up, Michelle?
Hey, happy Friday. Got my mimosa, and I'm allowed to keep drinking mimosas because I keep winning.
Right, that is true.
That's the best part.
We have been crushing it on the picks this year. 12 of 15 picks we have been correct on. And you, Michelle, have actually only gotten one wrong. I'm the one that's gotten two wrong. So you're doing even better than me.
What was my one I got wrong? Do you have it?
You had Christian McCaffrey more than 72.5 rushing yards in week 1.
Okay. But I did say the scrimmage yards too. So, and I got that one.
Yes, you did. Still got one. Look, when you only get 3 wrong in 2 weeks, that's pretty good. All right. We're in week 3. We've gotten only 3 wrong. We are on fire, and we have plenty of picks for you today as well, which we will get to. But we have to start, Michelle, with the quarterback situation. Brock Purdy, I think, surprisingly returned to practice this week in a limited fashion. Now, first of all, on Wednesday, he was like the 3rd quarterback in practice, and yesterday he was the 2nd quarterback. So Mac is still getting the first crack at all the drills. But here is my stance on all this as I think about it. If Brock Purdy, if that is the case, like, why are we taking any practice reps away from Mac Jones, right? If he's going to be the guy that's likely to start, which I think he is at this point, give him all the reps. Let Brock do whatever he wants to do after practice. Let him work out with some, I don't want Mac to lose reps to Brock Purdy that has like a 10% chance of playing.
It does seem like Kyle Shanahan might think there's more than that chance, though. It feels like, I mean, right now, I feel like it's more 50-50. I don't actually want him to play. I get it's a divisional game. I get it's insanely important to win. But at the same time, I do think they can still get through this game against the Cardinals without Brock Purdy. I get it. The Cardinals are 2-0, and I don't want to just shame them for their schedule because it's not like the 49ers have had the hardest schedule too, but at least the Seahawks is a real opponent. They got to face the Panthers and the Saints, right? So I don't think the Cardinals are actually a good team. We can get to that when we discuss this game. So I think they can still win without Brock Purdy. Let Mac Jones play one more week. I'm not as high on Mac Jones as everyone is after that Saints game. Like, it was the Saints. The Saints defense stinks. So who cares? And he still fumbled twice and lost a fumble and had very low air yards. I almost want Mac Jones to play so people aren't like crying for him to come in if Purdy has a bad game at some point.
The Mac Jones talk has gotten way out of hand.
So much.
First, John Wallace says, hey, guys, good afternoon, good morning to you. On the way to the East Coast, Michelle, what kind of champagne are you using in the mimosa?
Cook's is my go-to. It's cheap, but doesn't taste too cheap, right? I don't think it tastes any different than like the $20 to $50 bottles. Now, once you get into like the Dom, like the $300 bottles, obviously that's amazing. But Cook's is the way to go for mimosas.
That's Michelle's combination. Cheap and alcoholic is really.
Hey, I love me some expensive cocktails.
Right, but this you got to drink every week, so your budget. It's a good thing you're getting these picks right, or your alcohol budget would go down.
Very true.
Right. Oh man, Heineman on Twitch says Kyle still has the Ivan Drago mentality. If he dies, he dies. Do you know that reference?
No, obviously not.
Oh, God. Michelle hasn't seen any movies. That's a Rocky reference when he faces the Russian Ivan Drago, who beats the tar out of Apollo Creed, and Apollo Creed is bleeding in the ring about to die, and he grabs the microphone, Drago does, and says, if he dies, he dies. So it's a beautiful line.
Never seen the movie.
Oh, God, Michelle. Sometimes I really worry about you.
I like my mimosas and my trash TV, and I don't need some serious movies to, in my life. It's too much drama.
I have specifically asked you to watch a movie, a comedy, My Cousin Vinny, and you have staunchly refused to watch it.
Next time you visit, we'll watch it together.
Well, I may hold you to that.
Okay.
Edgar says Fridays are her mimosa days. Leave Michelle alone.
Thank you. And it's sweet. You only think it's Fridays.
If it ends in a Y. Tanisha says, good morning, Rob and Michelle. I'm ready for another victory on Sunday. 3-0, baby. I've been talking about this all week. And shout out to Tanisha and all our YouTube channel members. They won 2 in a row. They hadn't done that last year. They did not win 2 games in a row last year at all. It just goes to show like this is a new year, new team. It's refreshing. I'm trying to get over the trauma that 6-11 can inflict on you. And week by week, as they keep winning, it helps go away little by little.
And it is nice that both games they won, even though it felt like, oh no, are they going to pull a 2024 version of themselves? Like even against the Saints, I was like, this is still too close for me. I was like, somehow, some way, they're going to ruin this. Mac Jones is going to throw a pick 6 or something, or someone's going to fumble, like something's going to happen. And they didn't do it, right? It's like, it's that trauma from last year that anything that could go wrong at the end of the games did go wrong.
Yep.
And as soon as Eddie Pierre, I can never say his last name. Eddie P is what I'm going to call him. As soon as he missed the extra point, I was like, oh no. But then he was fantastic the rest of the game and came through.
It's weird to say, but if you remember, Bosa sacks Spencer Rattler, and the Niners get the ball back basically at midfield because they had pinned New Orleans deep. They get the ball back at midfield. I think there was like 4 minutes left to go in the game. Now, the Niners ended up not doing anything with the ball and giving it back to New Orleans. But if the offense had closed it out at that time and just gotten first downs and chewed up the clock, I would have felt better about the game. But the fact that they failed to do that and then we had to rely on the defense again made it feel a little closer, even though the score would have ended up exactly the same. Is that unreasonable by me?
I don't think it is. It is interesting to me, like looking at these play calls and like with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter up, it's 4 straight passes from Mac Jones. Where's Christian? Like, why are you not running the ball, Kyle Shanahan? Why are you not running out this clock? And obviously failed, and they had to punt. They get the ball back, and again fail and have to punt. Now this time at least they did try to utilize Christian McCaffrey in the passing game and got it there, but and utilize him on the ground, and it was a negative run. But still, I would have liked to see more rushing attempts there. You would have liked them to be able to pick up a first down to close out this game, because if they were facing a better offense, who knows how this game would have ended up. So they are going to have to get those first down and just close out games without giving the offense more opportunities. So there's definitely still things to worry about, but they had their backup quarterback. They didn't have Juwan Jennings at that point in the game. He was in and out. Did he come back at that point?
No, he hasn't practiced all week too, so I don't think he's going to go this week.
No George Kittle. So it's like, if they can pull out this win, you just have to be happy. Even if it's against a bad team because of how injured they were, it's still impressive they got the win.
Sneaky big game this week for both sides. Obviously, the Niners could go to 3-0 with 2 wins in the division and 3 wins in the conference. Clearly the best start they could have had, obviously, going undefeated. The Cardinals, if they win this game, could be, by the end of the week, the only undefeated team in the division, because the Rams are playing the Eagles, which could go either way, but I think the Eagles are going to win that game. And then the Cardinals play the Seahawks next week on Thursday Night Football, so they would have a real opportunity to put the division in a headlock if they were to actually do it. The question is, will they actually do it? How much would your feeling on this game change based on the starting quarterback? Like, if I told you it was definitely going to be Mac Jones, you still think the Niners are going to win?
I still think they win. I feel much more confident, obviously, if it's Brock Purdy, but I still would give them the win with Mac Jones, as long as Mac Jones doesn't lose the game for them, right? Like, you don't need to put up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Again, I don't think in this matchup, because I don't think the Cardinals offense is good in the slightest. They haven't been able to do anything against the 2 worst defenses in the league from last year, in the Panthers and the Saints. They allowed, the Saints and the Panthers were both bottom 3 in total yards per game allowed last season. And the Cardinals are averaging just 284 total yards per game this season. They haven't even hit 300 yards in a game yet. They're actually the first team to win both of their first 2 games, despite having under 300 total yards in the first 2 weeks of a season in NFL history. So this is they haven't looked good. Their Drew Petzing, their OC, absolutely stinks. I thought they should have fired him after last season. They cannot get anybody open. They cannot get the connection with Marvin Harrison Jr. going. And the run game actually looks like James Conner looks like he may have taken a step, maybe be hitting that old man, that father time finally in the NFL. We'll see if he can get it going. But I'm not worried about the Cardinals offense whatsoever. And their defense has looked pretty solid, but again, it's been against the Saints and the Panthers. So we don't know. I think I'm not worried about the Cardinals putting up even 20 points in this matchup.
Whoa, that would be fascinating. What I'm worried about is the ground attack, because you mentioned James Conner. The man haunts my nightmares for some reason. I feel like he always terrorizes the 49ers. Even there was a game last year where he did like nothing in the first half and then ran for like 150 yards in the second half. It was infuriating. In the 2 games against the Cardinals last year, the Niners gave up 320 yards on the ground. That's 6 yards per carry. That is, I don't care if the offense stinks. If you can gain 6 yards per carry on the ground, you're going to move the ball. You're going to put up points. That's why I feel like this is such a big test for Mykal Williams and Alfred Collins and Bosa, obviously, and all the positive things that we saw along this defensive line through 2 games. Now here's a test. This team has tormented you on the ground. Can you do it against an opponent that also knows you really well? It's one of my biggest things I'm watching on Sunday.
Yeah, it's interesting because last year, they lose both of those matchups. We can kind of throw away week 18. I mean, Purdy wasn't in there, but Purdy might not be again. But they clearly had given up at that point in the season, everybody. And they lost by that 1 point in the earlier game of the year. So that was just when they kept losing games they shouldn't, right at the end. They need to just stay away from those mistakes in the fourth quarter. And I think they'll handle this in a game at home. Like, there's really no reason to lose no matter who their quarterback is.
I did pick the Cardinals to win. I know that people are mad at me. Here's
what have you seen from them that gives you any confidence in the Cardinals this year?
I think especially if it's Mac and even if it's Brock, because Brock's not going to be 100%. I don't think they're going to be able to protect Mac Jones as well as the Niners protected Mac last week. They did a great job last week. Cardinals have a much better front than the Saints do. The Saints really don't have anybody that scares me. And Chase Young didn't even play for them, which he was probably their best guy, and he didn't play. I think the Cardinals are going to be able to get more pressure on Mac Jones, and he has nothing, Michelle. He can't move at all. Levin texted me and was like, he is the least athletic person I think I've ever seen at quarterback. His body looks like, literally when he tries to move, it looks like his body is like, dude, what are you doing? Like, it's awful. And if he's under pressure, he's going to do stupid things with the football, and that's what I worry about.
Yeah, but then also if it's Purdy back there, we don't want him running around either on that toe, right? And maybe they'll ask him not to scramble as much. And that's been a big part of Purdy's game, coming up clutch, just taking off and running when he needs to. And that is a big difference maker between him and anyone else coming in, is that ability to scramble, especially compared to Mac Jones, because Levin is totally right. That dude cannot move whatsoever. He looks like a goof out there. I swear I could beat him in a race, which is it should not be possible for any NFL player. But you're right. The offensive line was much better protecting Mac Jones. He was faster getting the ball out too, because the air yards were so much shorter in week 2 than they were in week 1 with Purdy. But Purdy was pressured on 61% of dropbacks in week 1. Now, only 1 sack taken. That's incredible, because 60% pressure rate is insanely high. It's the highest by any 49ers quarterback taken since the start of the next gen stats era, which was in 2018. So now a good 6 years of data there. And then last week, Mac Jones was only pressured on 21% of dropbacks. So nearly 40% that fell, but 3 sacks taken by Mac Jones, despite only being pressured on 21% of dropbacks. So like, he literally, if they pressure him, there's a great chance he is going to get sacked, which is not inspiring, to feel confident with Jones back there.
And the 3 sacks that Mac took, he held the ball for at least like 3.7 seconds on all of them. So he really shouldn't have taken any. Get that damn ball out, especially because you can't move, Max. So you got to get rid of it. Whether you're throwing it out of bounds or you're throwing it to an open player, you can't hold on to it for sure. So I just don't have faith in Mac Jones. I'm sorry, I just don't. But kind of like you said, I'm a little scared to see them play Brock, because Brock doesn't have that like 50% effort level, right? Like, if you play Brock, he's not going to take it easy on the toe. He's not going to not run around, because that's just not how he's wired. He never gives up on any play. He's going to be doing all the things he normally does, and that could aggravate that toe injury. So yeah, it all adds up to me to, unfortunately, I think a Cardinals win. but I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, but the 49ers are going to lose games this year. I don't think that's breaking news. So this could easily be one of the games that they lose.
But let's not be in division, right? Especially this early on. I don't want it to be one of those games they lose. And again, like I need Brock Purdy to stay healthy, and that's why I don't want him to play here. Because if he's not, if his toe has a high probability of getting not even re-injured because it won't be healed then, but more aggravated, and then you lose him for the Rams and the Bucks and the Falcons game.
Right.
That's the toughest stretch they have this year. So keep him healthy for this game. And I'm fine with him coming back against the Jaguars next week because, yeah, it's a game that you could lose. It's the AFC, but you don't want him to come into the Rams game cold after sitting out 2 games, right? Like get him in the Jags game. They have a really bad secondary. Get him feeling confident in that game. Then you're going to LA. And really selfishly, not only do they need Brock Purdy to win this game, I think, in LA, but I'm going to that game. And if Brock Purdy's not playing and it's Mac Jones, I'm going to be so incredibly angry because I'm already not going to get George Kittle. And I'm already so sad about that.
The selfishness. I love it. You know, just do what's best for you. I appreciate
just me.
that.
Yeah.
Only on 30 FPS on Twitch says, Rob, you don't have to have faith in Mac Jones, just Kyle Shanahan. I will say I was giving Kyle his flowers after the game on Sunday. Like people just take it for granted that Mac Jones was able to come in and throw 3 touchdowns and no picks and move the ball. Like Kyle gets no credit for that. People are just like, oh, see, Mac Jones is better than Brock Purdy. And it's like, damn, man, like this doesn't happen. Go look at Mike McDaniel when he doesn't have Tua. Now, I know Mike McDaniel's in a world of hurt right now. It looks like he's about to get fired. But like usually when you have your backup quarterback, bad things happen. And I think that Kyle deserves some credit for getting Mac Jones ready to play and for coming up with a game plan that put Mac Jones in the best position to succeed. And, you know, I know people like to bang on Kyle, so I guess I feel like I have to defend him a little bit. Do you want to do it, Michelle? Do you want to dive into the picks? You feeling strong again this week?
Oh, you already want to get into the picks. There's not many out there because I don't know if Purdy's playing or not. I mean, it's like Christian McCaffrey and nothing else.
Yeah, we'll get into a couple more. Was there any other like storylines or anything going into this game that you want to mention?
I mean, I think this defense has to get after Kyler and make him uncomfortable. I want to see more out of Nick Bosa. He's been balling out, right? And then also these young guys, get them going because again, like I said, a tough stretch is coming up. So I don't think Kyler Murray in this offense is good at all. So make them super uncomfortable, and I want to see them shut down this team.
We did a film breakdown yesterday of the defensive line with Johnny Dell. It was a YouTube only film breakdown. He got me so pumped for what we saw from Mykel Williams and from Alfred Collins, who I don't think that many people were as aware of just because he plays on the inside. And so a lot of his good plays don't show up in the box score. But man, it is coming. And that is going to be a huge test for them. Can you contain Kyler as a runner? And part of that is when you rush the passer, don't run past him. You have to stop at I don't know how to say this. The deepest you get is where the quarterback is. You can never go deeper than that because if you do, he's going to get the edge. He's going to get around you, and that's when he's going to kill you. You almost have to rush not to sack him. Like, don't try to sack him. Just sort of get in the way and close the pocket around him, if that makes sense.
And then just put up your arms and you won't be able to see anything. You know,
well, especially with the Niners D-line. Mykel Williams and Alfred Collins are friggin' huge. They're massive human beings. So, yes, do that. But I want to see that test because that's something that has burned the 49ers in the past, even when they've had good defenses. So can these linemen do it? How are they coached to do it? I thought they actually did a very good job of it in the Super Bowl against Mahomes in 2023. That was one of the few times I can remember them. You could tell they were actively doing that and keeping him contained. And I thought they did a good job of it. And I hope they do it again because I don't want to see Kyler Murray with his hand in the air 40 yards away from the end zone celebrating because he knows he's going to score untouched like he did last year.
I think the biggest thing in this game is that I'm not worried about the Cardinals beating them up in the passing game. I'm really not. Like, they don't have the weapons for it. I mean, I know they have Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think he can be good, but not in this offensive system. And Trey McBride's their one really good piece, and he can even have a 60-yard game. They're going to be fine. He rarely scores a touchdown. He did actually against the 49ers last year, which he has like 2 in his career, which is crazy. But It's the run game. If the Cardinals can all of a sudden get the run game going and just start ripping off big plays, then that's where they could end up winning and controlling this game. But I actually think it's going to be Christian McCaffrey that controls this game and has his first massive game on the ground, because he's had huge games through the air so far, but his first massive game on the ground.
I hope you are right. Let's get to a couple comments. Scott Brown says, wait, what's the kicker update? Kicker update. Eddie Pinheiro is better than Jake Moody. That's the kicker update.
I like what they said on the broadcast, that Kyle Shanahan, I think it was who said it in the press conferences up prior to the game, said that I like knowing, like, maybe we can't kick from as far away, but I like knowing that if we're at the 40-yard line, right, like we have a kicker that's going to make it at the 30 or 40. Like, no, maybe he can't kick the 50, 60-yard bombs like Jake Moody could maybe make and has a strong enough leg for, but we're confident he's going to make the ones that he should be making. And that's, I mean, if that's where they're at this year, that's where they're at. And at least they know that they can't kick it from that far. But that's okay, because they're going to hit all the ones they need to that are gimme kicks for most of the kickers in the league.
And by the way, you shouldn't be attempting a 58-yard field goal anyway. Go for it, damn it. So
I'm fine with attempting those if you have a good kicker, but they don't have one.
Niner Faithful says, what is Kyle Juszczyk's status? So Kyle Juszczyk was limited in practice yesterday. He was in the blue non-contact jersey. So he's clearly making progress from the concussion, but there are steps in the protocol that you have to pass. So we don't know. They did activate Braden Willis from the practice squad, which makes you think that he's going to have to maybe take over some of the fullback duties. Now, they could have been doing that just to prepare, obviously, just in case Juice doesn't come back. I don't know. But I don't think it matters that much. Like, I've continued to say he is not irreplaceable. And this is not meant to kick Kyle Juszczyk when he's down. But we saw Jake Tonjes fill in for him, and they were fine. They were absolutely fine. So I'm not sweating it either way.
And that Luke Farrell touchdown last week, that connection. I wish I called that last week, because I did say they had the connection from Jacksonville. I wish I would have called a Luke Farrell touchdown. That would have been insane. I'm sure it was insane odds. But yeah, I mean, they've been feeling it all right. I mean, obviously they're no George Kittle and not putting up the production he does or kill defenses or make them nervous. But this week, though, if they don't have Juwan Jennings, it's just Christian McCaffrey and Ricky Pearsall. And I don't love the thought of that.
That may be enough. John Wallace says, what's the update on Malik Mustafa? He was on the PUP list, so he can't come back for another couple of games. This is the last game they're going to have to deal with no DeMarcus Robinson. His suspension will be over after this week. That will be a welcome addition to the wide receiver room. And here's the other thing, Michelle, because you mentioned Juwan. Jordan Watkins suddenly popped up with a calf injury on the injury report yesterday. So just when you're thinking like, hey, Jordan Watkins might get in there because Juwan is probably not going to play, well, guess what? Watkins is now hurt again. So we're looking at Ricky Pearsall and Kendrick Bourne and what? Like, and it's just a pile of guys.
Sky Moore.
Right. Sky. I mean, they don't play Sky Moore. He does the returns, and that's it. I think he got 2 snaps on offense last week.
As he shouldn't play. I mean, he should not be on the field. But, I mean, they're going to have bodies this week. And like you said, it's Pearsall and Kendrick Bourne, and it's going to be a bunch of randoms. When you're saying, like, well, they have Jake Tonjes and like Luke Farrell, you know, things are getting real bad, and it's only week 3.
How about the Niners going tight end touchdowns, right? All 3 of their tight ends had touchdowns, and George Kittle only played a quarter and got one. Maybe they're like actively trying to target that position now. I don't know.
You'd love to see it, and I wish George Kittle was just healthy.
Rest up, George. He was out there at practice the other day. You know,
I hate they put him on IR for there to be no shot to come back earlier.
Yeah, you know what, though? I almost think that's good, because I'm sure he's going to start to feel better and think like, hey, I can do it, and they're going to want to. And it's like, now you remove the temptation, right? Like, you can't. It's against the rules, so they're not going to do it. So at least you feel like when he does come back, he's going to be good to go, which, again, he's going to miss that Rams game, which really, really sucks. But
yeah, it does.
I just like how you're mad about it just because you're going to the game and won't get to see him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's my first 49ers game, and I don't get to see George Kittle. That is so sad.
That is unfortunate. I mean, when I went to see him, he scored 3 touchdowns against Dallas Cowboys. You know, just saying.
Good for you, Stats. Good for you. Just rub it in.
No problem there. All right, let's do it, because we got a super chat here from Joseph Faccio, who asks, do we have any Ricky Pearsall bets? So, Michelle, let's dive into it right now. Make our bets and our picks. And again, if you missed it earlier, 12 of 15 correct. 12 of 15 correct on the year. When we pick something, you pick something. That is what we've established, especially Michelle's picks. To the point, Michelle, Vish was shouting you out on Monday's show, how you're the brains of the operation, especially on Fridays, and that's where all the real intelligence comes from.
You know what, Vish? I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for saying that. And I think you're 100% correct. I'm not going to be humble here. I'm just going to agree with you.
So let's go over just last week. Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown. We both had that. We were both correct. Ricky Pearsall, more than 55.5 receiving yards. Guess how many he had in the game? 56.
Nice.
That is extra satisfying because usually I feel like we're on the other end of that. Juwan Johnson, more than 33.5 receiving yards. You nailed that one. And that's important because sleeper, you have to take at least 2 different teams in your picks. So we always will give you one from the other side. So Juwan Johnson, you were correct there. And he was doing his damnedest to make us lose that one, Michelle, because he kept dropping the ball early on in that game.
Listen, I was stressed about that one. I mean, I obviously didn't want it to happen, right? Like, I didn't want him to have a good game against the 49ers, but when he caught it, I was kind of like, oh, nice, kind of, as long as the 49ers still were going to win, and I was confident of that. But yeah, that one was stressing me out.
He finally came through. I picked Mac Jones more than 203.5 passing yards. That was easy.
Smash.
I was stunned that was so low. And then we both had Christian McCaffrey more than 4.5 catches in the game. They feed that man the ball. That was easy on our part. So again, we killed it. We were 5 of 6 because again, we doubled up on some of the bets, so it was actually only 6. Some of the picks, so it was actually only 6, but we got 5 of 6 correct. So go us. I will give you the board. You can go anywhere you want, Michelle. You can have the first pick.
Well, again, there's not much out there, so I'm going to take the easy one to go for here, and it's Christian McCaffrey's scrimmage yards, so the rush plus receiving yards. He's at 110 on Sleeper right now. No player had more touches than Christian McCaffrey over the first 2 weeks of the season. He's at 50 touches already. He's averaging 124.5 scrimmage yards per game this year. He did not play in any of the Cardinals matchups last season, but the 2 games, do we remember those from 2023? Had over 175 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns in both of those games, not combined, in both of those games, just absolutely dominated against them. He averages 143.7 scrimmage yards per game in his 7 career games against the Cardinals. There's only been 2 games with the 49ers. He hasn't had 160 yards against the Cardinals. That was week 18, 2022, and week 11, 2022. And those were both blowout wins by the 49ers. So he only had 13 touches and 14 touches in those games. And one of those games, he had 106 yards. So it was only 4 yards behind. I don't expect this game to be a blowout by the 49ers. I expect them to win, but not a blowout, right? And the Cardinals defense, like I said, have looked solid the first 2 weeks, but they played the Panthers and the Saints last week. Chuba Hubbard had 77 total yards on 15 touches. Christian McCaffrey should have at least 20 touches in this game. He's much better than Hubbard. 110, take the more.
I like it. I'm any CMC pick that you want to make, I feel pretty comfortable with, to be honest with you. I was actually going to go somewhere else with McCaffrey. I was going to
touchdown.
No, I was going to take, that and more than 36.5 receiving yards. Yeah. They have been, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like they have been featuring him more than they ever have through the air. He's crushed it through 2 weeks. He had 52 in week 1 and 73 last week, especially if Juwan Jennings is not going to be there and Pearsall is probably going to get double covered, you would imagine. They're going to 23, man. They are. And plus the fact that he is always the outlet, like, oh, Pearsall is double covered. Whatever guy they have at number 2 is not open because, of course, he's not. Just default to Christian McCaffrey. He always squeezes the yards out of those catches. So 36.5 still seems low to me. So I will take CMC more than 36.5 yards through the air.
I think that one might even be safer than the total yards. I like both. Yeah. I like either one, but definitely that receiving, that's way too low. I'm sure you get more money back if you hit on the scrimmage yards. What is the value they're giving you there for the receiving yards?
Let's see. It's 1.73 times. So that's pretty good. I still feel pretty comfortable in that.
So the total yards is 1.76. So They are saying it's harder to have the over on this one, right, than the receiving, and we agree, but you make more money if you hit it. So I like both of them, but I'm going to go for the more money one.
Speaking of, Riz, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Says, don't know why my donations keep getting canceled. This is the last time I'm trying. LOL. Appreciate the picks. Go Niners. Thank you, Riz. That is phenomenal. That's incredibly generous. We always appreciate the support. I don't know why it was canceled, but I appreciate that you kept trying too. So thank you for that. All right, let's see. Where do I want to go? I feel like we've been very heavy on McCaffrey. So let me go off McCaffrey. Let me give you a Cardinals pick. I'm going to say Kyler Murray rush yards in the game.
Okay.
The number is 28.5. I'm going to say more than 28.5. I think that, especially if the 49ers keep getting pressure the way that they have been, he's going to scramble and run. And I always say this about Kyler Murray. He runs like a toddler that just stole his parents' phone. It's the weirdest thing. Nobody in the league runs like him. I don't know if it's like small strides or more footsteps, but whatever it is, I always hear that little like cartoon sound effect whenever he runs. And I just think he's going to have more than 28. Now, it might only be like 30. I don't know that he's, going to run for 120 yards. I'm not saying that, but 28.5 seems low. So I will say more than 28.5 on the ground for Kyler.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a lot of scrambling, I think, in this game, like we mentioned. So if he doesn't get that, I think the 49ers win by a decent amount, right? If he's not able to get out of pocket and scramble away, because again, I don't think he's going to get a bunch of receiving yards. So I like that pick by you. I'm going to also go with a Cardinal here, and it's going to be James Conner, more than 15.5 receiving yards. In week 2, he hit that with 18 receiving yards. In week 1, he did not, but he had 4 receptions, right? That's not typical of James Conner to have 4 receptions and be that inefficient. He's actually a really efficient pass catcher as a running back. Like I said, he's been struggling on the ground a bit, so I don't want to go that route. And they're not giving him a ton of carries with Trey Benson getting some of the work as well. So only 11 and 12 carries through those games for James Conner. But I do think, again, they're going to have struggles in the passing game. They cannot get Marvin Harrison going. So I think he's going to have to dump down with the 49ers getting pressure. And I think James Conner can hit this 15.5 over receiving.
Okay. I could see that. I could see him getting a couple. Also, I could see this friggin' guy catching a short check down, having, let's say, Upton Stout right there. He beasts poor Upton Stout and runs for 20 yards. Like, I could see that happening too. So, again, James Conner has scarred me. I'm very afraid of him for irrational reasons.
And the value is great. 1.91 times. Ooh. Almost 2 times the money.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Absolutely. JCG 1987, YouTube channel member for 19 months. Thank you so much. Says Kendrick Bourne over 30.5 yards. Now, I don't see that in the picks. Maybe that's just one that he is throwing out there.
They have Juwan Jennings, which I'm shocked by because he hasn't practiced. And normally guys who are hurt, they don't even have Ricky Pearsall number on here.
Because I think they're questioning the quarterback, so they don't want to do anything until we know.
Because if it's Brock Purdy, Pearsall's would be much higher than with Mac Jones.
Either way, like I was ready to say, take Pearsall, whatever it is. This might be one that you have to come back to on Sunday morning, but because by then we'll probably know who the quarterback is going to be. Whatever it is with Pearsall, take it. The Cardinals are extremely banged up in the secondary. They lost a couple guys in the secondary before the season even began. They lost another corner to IR last week. Will Johnson hasn't practiced all week. And there's another guy out there whose name's Max Melton, I think, who got carted off last week, but has been practicing this week to his credit. But clearly he's probably not 100% out there. So feed number 1. The Pearsall is not up right now, but like I said, check back Sunday morning because I would definitely take more than whatever they list for Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, especially. I mean, I would feel so much better if it's Purdy because Mac Jones, we don't know about their connection that they built together. Again, it was only 56 yards he got this past week, and he was needed. I mean, I guess it was against the Saints, not as needed, but I am a little bit more worried about Pearsall with Mac Jones, I should say. But if it was Purdy, I'd be going like, I'm fine with taking over 70 yards. Like I would be shocked if he didn't. I wouldn't be shocked if he had a 100-yard game.
He had a couple of shots against the Saints where Mac just missed him, but he was open. So maybe their chemistry can get a little better. Grant Shepard, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, here's some of your commission for the picks. that. This is appreciated.
Love
I don't
it.
know. I don't think we're allowed to do that, but if you want to throw a super chat our way, we'll take it. We appreciate it. Foot says this will be Marvin Harrison Jr.'s coming out game. I certainly hope not. His number is 47.5 receive. Like, I'm sorry, man. If you pick a receiver where they picked Marvin Harrison Jr., he should be 47.5 is so low. But Kyler, I don't know where he can't find him.
And I'm telling you, maybe we can put it on Kyler Murray. I don't want to take off everything with him, but this offense gets nobody open besides Trey McBride. That's the only thing they can do. It's like, how are you sticking with this play caller? How are you not trying something else? Because you can't move on from Kyler Murray, right? You can move on from your OC. Right? Like maybe you can move on from Kyler Murray in a year or two, but like with that money, it doesn't make sense. It would make sense to try a new play caller out because we have seen good production from him in the past with different play callers. So I don't know why they're not trying it out. Now, do you have one that you want to take before I take another one?
Well, let me real quick ask you, are you feeling bold enough to say Marvin Harrison Jr. less than 47.5 receiving yards?
No, but I am bold enough to take someone else less than, which I never do. And it's going to be Kyler Murray less than the 220.5 passing yards they have, which shocks me. They have it that high because in the first two games for the 49ers, they allowed Sam Darnold only 150 yards. That was with Jackson Smith-Njigba going off and getting all those yards. And then last week, Spencer Rattler 207, right? And you might say Kyler Murray is better than Spencer Rattler. Fine. But at the same time, Kyler Murray has not had that in either of the games this season, averaging fewer than 200 passing yards per game. Last year in San Fran, only put up 195 yards in that win. In that week 18 game, he did have 242, but the last two games outside of week 18, when the 49ers just couldn't do anything, it was 211 yards and 195. So I think I'm taking the less than, which is something I never ever do because I hate taking less than. But that seems like way too high of a number for Kyler Murray.
I don't like watching a game and rooting for stuff not to happen when it comes to my picks.
Well, we're rooting for that anyways, right? With Kyler Murray.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't really change anything. But when it comes to my picks, like I want to root for Ricky Pearsall to make catches and yards, not to them to not throw to somebody else. So I'm just looking at the anytime touchdown picks. They're all Trey McBride, Christian McCaffrey, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Juwan Jennings, all at the same number. One touchdown and you win money. If I had to pick one of those guys to score, it's got to be McCaffrey. Jennings, I don't know that's going to play. Marvin Harrison Jr. may only get 5 targets the whole game. Trey McBride doesn't get in the end zone that frequently anyway. I know we have a lot of Christian McCaffrey picks this week, but I'll take that. I'll take Christian McCaffrey to get into the end zone. If it ain't going to be running, it'll be throwing. They've been targeting him through the air in the red zone like they did last week at the last drive before the half, which was beautiful, by the way. So give me Christian McCaffrey to score anytime.
Yeah, since the start of last season, Trey McBride has 2 receiving touchdowns. I mean, he only has 6 in his career, but 2 touchdowns, 0 this year. He had 2 touchdowns last year, 0 this year. It's not to say he can't get in the end zone, right? Like anything can happen. He scored one of those 2 touchdowns last year, came against the 49ers, but the probability is just so low. So I'm not taking that. And Juwan Jennings, you don't even know if he's going to play. Marvin Harrison Jr., I actually don't think is a bad bet because the one area he is succeeding right now is near that goal line. But yeah, it's Christian McCaffrey for sure. We saw it last week. It's been a bit of a drought there for him before last week, but I fully expect him to score a touchdown in this game. So that's the one I would take too.
All right. So that's a bunch of picks. Again, just pointing out 12 of 15 correct on the year. I know at some point the worm is going to turn and we're going to go on a cold streak, but while we're on the hot streak, I'm pumping the hell out of it. So I'm just enjoying and basking in our tremendous victories. So please, please, please use Sleeper to make your picks. As we've said, you just bet on this. You just pick stats like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, etc. And you can win up to 1,000 times your money. How can you not love that? Just use our promo code GSP and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. You know, the other thing that I like, Michelle, is that this is in the regular late window for the 49ers. As much as I like the game finishing early for me on the East Coast like it did last week, I didn't get to watch any of the games because I was watching the Niners and then I was doing the show and editing the show and going through the press conferences. This week, I get to watch all the early 1:00 games, and I like football, so I like to do that.
Yeah, it's too much going on at the early games.
Yeah.
There was 9 games going on too last week. It's just too much going on. I was trying to watch the Steelers and the 49ers with all the other games going on as well. I like the 49ers being in the later window for sure, where there's only like 3 games, right? There's only 2 other games to compete with. Normally one of them sinks too, so it's like you're just focusing on 2 games at a time. It's great. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited they're playing there. And that's just what their bodies are used to too, so that's better for them.
And the Niners have 4 more early games this season. They are playing early a lot. I don't like the fact that the Niners are going to be in the whites at home. I know it's the throwback 94 whites, which I do like, but I want to see them in the reds. They haven't worn the reds all year yet. They're not going to wear any red jersey of any kind, I think, until week 10 this season. So that's a bummer, but it's going to be in the home white or the road whites. And we're going to see the Cardinals wearing red at Levi's. Something about that just doesn't sit right with me.
That is interesting. So they get to choose, right? Since they're the home team. I wonder why they're preferring the white.
Because the sun. They don't like early home games at Levi's or home games at Levi's early in the year, I should say, because you roast in that stadium in the sun. So they're wearing the white because, white repels the sunlight better than the other colors. So they're going to tire the Cardinals out, I guess.
Oh, the Cardinals mean they have to wear their blacks?
No, they can wear the reds. But the Cardinals play in Arizona. So, I don't think the heat is really going to affect them that much.
No. Is Arizona outdoors or indoors?
It's outdoors, I believe.
It is? I don't think so. That seems deadly.
I don't know. I don't know, because I just found out last week, Michelle, that Lucas Oil, the roof opens. And I literally did not know that until yesterday.
It's a retractable roof in Arizona, so I'm sure it's almost always closed for them.
Arjun says, I thought your Steelers were abandoned this season, Michelle.
Yeah, well, I changed my mind.
You're a damn one.
I gotta root for him for my parents and my mom. So I've been a Steelers fan my whole life. I can't just abandon them fully. It's not like I still enjoy seeing Aaron Rodgers stink, and I'm not as into them winning this year. I'm not like dying at the edge of my seat, but I still gotta root for him.
Well, you're just a lying liar.
Yeah,
you said me. You're not a Steelers fan until Aaron Rodgers is off the team. We're 2 weeks into the season and you've already backtracked.
It's hard when imagine the 49ers signing someone you hate, right? Especially at quarterback, the most important position. And you're so mad at them, but would you really be able to not root for them that year? You know how hard that is?
It's extremely difficult, but you're the one that said it.
I know. I was emotional. I'm an emotional woman. Okay.
By the way, speaking of emotional women, what was your reaction when the Pittsburgh Steelers just decided, you know what? We don't want to cover a kickoff, Seattle. You can just have a touchdown whenever you get around to falling on the football.
The fact that Caleb Johnson didn't know the rules, I get you're a rookie, but how embarrassing. How embarrassing. It was really the only reason they lost that game. There was no reason to lose that game. I missed that play. I was working. I looked up. They had a lead, and all of a sudden they were down by 10. I was like, how did that happen? Because the Seahawks scored a touchdown, right? And then on that ensuing kickoff, they score another touchdown. So I literally was like, I was flabbergasted. And then I see the replay of him. Just so embarrassing. The Steelers are embarrassing.
I have seen a lot of bad special teams plays. The 49ers have gone through 3 special teams coordinators just since Kyle Shanahan's been the head coach. I've never seen anything like that. I have never seen anything like that where the ball goes into the end zone. It's a kickoff. It is a kickoff. What are you doing? And Mike Tomlin, to not have his people know the rule. Imagine if that was Kyle Shanahan. Oh, yeah. Imagine, right? The venom and the torches and pitchforks that would be out for Kyle Shanahan. And it happened to Mike Tomlin. And I agree with you. I think actually Seattle kicked a field goal to go up 3.
Okay.
And they were going to kick the ball back to the Steelers. And you're like, Aaron Rodgers, okay, he can drive him back. Let's see what happens. And then they just don't touch the football. The Seahawks recover, and they're just giving away touchdowns. Like that, the Steelers could have won that game, and then the Niners would have another leg up on Seattle. But no, they're stupid, and we don't.
Yeah, and my dad was like, see, Michelle, Sam Darnold's good. I'm like, he threw 2 interceptions. There's no reason he should have won this game. They got a free touchdown. Like, get out of here.
No. Yeah,
People
no,
will beat up Sam Darnold's butt no matter what.
I
No
do
matter
not
what.
get it. He was bad in that game. He threw multiple picks, and they were bad. They were bad. At least one of Aaron
It's
Rodgers.
like when he has one good throw. That's what I got to text. Like if he has like a pretty throw, people are like, oh, see, he's so good. It's like every quarterback has a couple good throws a game. If you didn't, you wouldn't be in the NFL. Like you would not be a starting quarterback. I'm not saying he's the worst player to ever exist in lifetime. Yeah, he can have a couple good throws, but he's a bad starting quarterback for a full season. Yes.
At least one of the Aaron Rodgers picks, like went off of his guy's hands in the
Well,
end.
yeah, that was crazy. If Pat Fryermuth, it looked like an easy touchdown, and all of a sudden it just like went up in the air, and yeah.
See, these are the weird stuff that happens that has to go your way in a season. Like 49ers and everybody in the NFC West could have had an extra game up on Seattle, but those two plays, that stupid fluky interception, and then the fluke of all flukes on the kickoff, and all of a sudden that game goes differently. And Seattle.
Yeah, I'm not watching the Seahawks in these first 2 weeks. I'm not worried about them. And I'm not worried about the Cardinals. I don't care that they're 2-0. The only team to be worried about is the Rams, and I think they look worse than we were expecting too. It doesn't mean they can't pick it up, but it's not like you're watching them like, oh wow, they look so good, right? I mean, the Titans, they let them stay in the game far too long before they finally took the gap in the lead towards the end of the game. And then week 1, they barely beat the Texans, who couldn't do anything on offense. So it's not like you're looking at the Rams saying they're unbeatable or anything like that. So I'm feeling pretty good about this division this year, especially looking at the 49ers schedule. Get Brock Purdy healthy. Hopefully George Kittle can come back, stay healthy. Once those two players are back and everyone else is in the groove, I feel really good about this team.
The Rams are the only team where I look at them and be like, you can definitely beat the Rams, but also they can definitely beat anybody.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird place to be. It's almost like driving in a car, right? If you're driving in your car and someone drives faster than you, you're like, what the hell are they doing? That person's a speed demon. But at the same time, if they drive slower than you, you're like, pick up the pace. Only you drive at the perfect speed at all times, right? Everybody's one that needs to change.
Oh yeah, if someone's going slow in front of you and you're tailgating them, you're like so angry. But if someone's doing that to you, you're like, "What? Why are you in such a hurry?" Like it's both ways, no matter what. It's the same thing with being a pedestrian and a driver. Like you hate the walkers when you're a driver, and then when you're a walker, you hate the drivers.
No, I hate the walkers all the time, and I don't walk anywhere, so I'm never in the shoe's never on the other foot. So for me, it's just get off. I don't like walkers, bikers. I have no tolerance for cyclists. I'm sorry. There are trails where you can go and cycle. Get your damn bike off the road. The road is for cars, people that actually have somewhere that they need to go, not you on your little bicycle out for a joyride. Get off the road.
Some people have to ride their bike to work in places. Some people don't have cars, but they are annoying. I'm with you that they're annoying. I'm not with you that they shouldn't be on the road.
Get off the road. Off the road. Bike on the sidewalk.
It's so crazy. That's like, I think it's illegal to bike on the sidewalk, but like, if I'm biking and I have to go somewhere scary, I'm biking on the sidewalk. I don't care. Like, I don't want to get hit by a car.
It's true. You can't really get hit by a car on your bike if you're on the sidewalk. Yeah. That's a pretty good point. Yeah. So you're willing to break the law to get where you need to go.
Save my life. Yeah.
There you go. I don't know how to ride a bike. So
also, I get so anxious, like with cars near me, like I don't want to make them mad, like I get worried about that. I'm like, I know I'm going slow. I'm sorry. So I just go on the sidewalk.
Well, you know what? That's very considerate of you. Yeah. It's rare that you have a person that you acknowledge the inconvenience that you're causing for others. And so you don't cause it to others yourself.
1000%.
All right. Any big weekend plans?
I am doing this competition thing at my gym tomorrow. It's called Dry Try for anyone who does Orange Theory, but doing that. So I'm going to lay low tonight. This is my only mimosa of the day. I know, crazy. So laying low today, just going to watch some movies, lay around. I said movies.
Watch movies?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to watch one single movie. It's a new movie, Twinless, but that's my plan. And then tomorrow, I'm sure I'll live it up after being done with this.
What is this competition?
It like you do like a 5K, you do 2,000 meter row, and then you do like 300 body weight movements on the ground, and it's whoever can do it the fastest. And you try to beat your own. I've done it a few times, so really I'm just competing against myself and trying to beat my time from last time. But I did win among the girls each of the last 2 times. I'm a little bit heavier than I was then, so I'm not going to win this time. But I'm just going to try to do my best.
My God, that is. You know what this is so funny. You know what? You're doing that this weekend. Do you know what I did last weekend that I forgot to tell you about?
What?
I went to a chocolate chip competition. So I judged my whole family. We went. It was a chocolate chip cookie like baking competition, and we went. And you go and you try 20 different kinds of chocolate chip cookie.
Were your kids in heaven?
Yeah, they loved it. My wife entered the competition and she won an award for her chocolate chip cookies.
Wow.
So, and
Aaron.
yeah, I had to eat 20 different chocolate chip cookies and like you judge them on texture and taste and all like. So you're going to a competition where you're challenging your body and your bones and trying to be the best physical person that you can be. I went to a cookie eating competition.
Don't worry, I'll ruin my body with alcohol and food after the competition.
Everybody, that's going to do it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, we are live after every 49er game. We go live as soon as the game is over. The second the game is over, we give you our instant reaction. 11 and I will be live. Please go join us for that. It is our biggest show of the week. I think we do it better than anybody, quite frankly. So please join us for that. Subscribe to the channel. I promise you will come back for more. And if you want more Michelle, you can check out the Locked On Fantasy podcast, which is every day, or you can check out the Armchair and the Analyst, which is your new show.
The Analyst and the Armchair, opposite.
I always reverse that in my head.
Yeah.
The Analyst and the Armchair. I apologize.
I did see someone ask how my picks are going there. I am 27-5 on my game picks through 2 weeks.
Man, talk about a heater. Good for you. Well, there you go. If you want more Michelle in your life, you certainly have ways to get it. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you after the game.
Bye, y'all.